Hey, Charlie. Okay, I have a real quick question. You love the Bible, correct?
It's the word of God.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. And I want to understand, why don't you also support things like free lunches for kids? The Bible over 2,000 times mentions it, helping the needy at every instance, and that if you don't help the needy, you are not doing the word of God and he will not help you.
Of course we should help the needy. Can you show me a specific verse where it says make sure you pay a bunch of money to the government in taxes to help the needy?
I think as Christians, it should be the number one priority to find a system that works to make sure that every single person is fed, that you should feed the needy at the cost to yourself. I think that's a Christian obligation of the government to fulfill.
But, no, that, again, it's never biblically obligated to use the state to do that.
Okay,
the
but
church
then
should do that.
Okay, perfect.
And that's, so I personally give a fair amount of my tithes and my donations to local churches to help do these things, and I hope everybody else does that as well. Wouldn't you say it's better for churches to feed people than the government to feed people?
I think that the government is a unique position that as Christians we should be using to fulfill the will of God. I am a Christian, and I do think that by any means necessary, the number one priority of every single citizen in society under Christian values, as you like to preach, should be to help their fellow man, to help them feed, help them get clothes, and help the needy. I would love if my tax dollars went to helping people who needed food.
Over $1 trillion a year goes to food stamps and SNAP and Medicaid.
Perfect,
So,
and I'm glad with
no,
that.
but actually it doesn't help them nearly as much as you think. Let me tell you why. Because then we subsidize bad eating habits of the poor, so that the working poor is very obese, so they go buy Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Frito-Lays, where the church would then say, hey, instead of going to the local grocery store with a bunch of food stamps, why don't you come by our church and we'll feed all of you and a much more healthy meal made by our own members, and then you can hear the gospel afterwards. That's the church in practice. So there's a single mom coming into the church saying, I can't feed my kids, I need help. I would believe that every church in America would not say, sorry, we're closed here. They would say, we will cook you a meal. We will give you what you want. Private charity, individuals helping individuals is the best way to offer help.